Good morning, my name is Tarmo and my geocaching name is Metroboy. Today I'm standing here on Stanbridge Mill and behind me goes River Crouch. This little footbridge has also a geocache hidden somewhere. I know where it is, but I encourage you to come here and give a look on yourself. The reason why I'm starting my lovely morning here is because while the Halloween is already over when I'm gonna publish this video, it's very fitting time for me to visit the most haunted village in England, and it's called Canewdon. There's many mysteries surrounding that locations and many sightings of abnormal activities like bicycles coming from the thin air and following you, or witchcraft in total. Like there's a legend that if you run on the Halloween night 3 times anti-clockwise around the church, then you are going back in time. So my plan today is to go there, give a look, and also hide a snack to tag. That's another reason why I'm going there. The main reason actually. So I hope you take this journey with me and we have some good time. It's quite a long way actually to get there. I am walking now in Great Stanbridge using the public footpaths, which is nice, a bit moist obviously, but it's understandable, it's late autumn. And I'm now heading to the Ballard Score, but I'm already able to see Canewdon in the background. And this morning light is really nicely giving this place a real justice. And yeah, long walk, what can I say? I did plan to go this one way. I am not so sure how do I get back from there. Most likely I'm gonna walk the same way and catch the train or bus from the Rochefort. I am now standing here in front of the Canewdon Church, and there's an etymology saying that as long as this church tower stays here in place, there will be 6 witches in this village. And when there's a brick falling from the church tower, 1 witch dies and another one takes the place. I was speaking here with a couple of young people who have lived here for 4 years, and they said this church has been part of for a few nights before and after Halloween. I am approaching now to the couple locals here who are sitting here nicely in the bench, and maybe they can tell something about this location and some etymology surrounding this place. Here we go. Here's my microphone.
Yes, my name is Angus, and in fact, really it's the Saxons, I suppose, from Scandinavia who first alighted here, and I think 1 or 2 of the churches here were built in commemoration of the invasion or whatever over in Ashington. What about you, James? Do you know much about this area?
No, I'm not a local. I'm from Leigh-on-Sea, so I don't live here. But yes, there are lots of stories about witchcraft in this village, and people seeing things in the graveyard, things like that. Yes, supposedly yes. Do not know for sure.
They call it Canewdon Model Village. Is a development built in the 60s, and after that was built, I think there was a lot of anger from the locals, and I think they resurrected the sort of theme of witchcraft around for intimidating the new people who moved in. Tony?
Oh, I haven't got anything else to add. My learned colleagues have spoken very well.
Thank you very much anyway.
So this is the graveyard, and I usually don't like to do shooting in graveyard, but I think to give a little bit of the vibe local vibe here. And just of my observations, this actually looks very nicely taken care of churchyard. And what I definitely say, it does not look like that anything witchcrafty or anything sinister is going on in these parts. I would say vice versa. Most of the churchyards I've been visited, the gravestones are beyond repair, faded away, fallen over or vandalized. Nothing like that here. So actually this does look very, very nice churchyard and well taken care of. I'm sorry if I hurt anyone's feelings showing this to you, but I just think it's good to clarify that Canewdon probably has legends overtaken its real nature, and that one needs to be addressed in my opinion. I am walking down the Canewdon High Street, and this is the most unusual high street I ever seen, because I don't see any shop outlets or anything. It looks like a street like any other. As I was speaking here with some locals and not so locals, everybody seems to have no encounters with anything paranormal. Well, I guess I have to ask these questions from the Essex Ghost Hunters when I see them. But yeah, very nice sunny day on this late October day. And yeah, perfect place for, I don't know, to become old and live in here, I guess. So this is the spookiest thing I've seen in Canewdon so far. A nice installation for the Halloween with big spider on it. Spirit. So it must be this one. Hello. Essex Ghost Hunters, I presume.
Yeah.
It's me, Tarmo.
Hello there, you alright?
I'm good. Do you have some time today?
Yeah, Russell.
Ah, okay. Good day. I am here now, believe it or not to believe, together with one of the Essex Ghost Hunters.
Yes, one of the guesses. Many of us.
So, how many actually?
In my team, we have around about 14 people that will, be a part of the team at some point throughout the year when we go out. So, yeah, quite a few of us.
Wow.
So, we all have different abilities, all different sort of things. So, yeah, all very interesting.
So I'm believing a little bit in
Yep.
these things, but first I would like to see some kind of proof. So I am not converted to believe ghosts and ghouls yet. Obviously, we're not gonna use that.
I say it's not necessarily about being converted.
Mhm.
It's about, in my eyes, it's about an acceptance of what is out there. If
Mhm.
there's a life after death, and how that works.
So obviously England is very old country.
Yep.
There's not many recent wars here. So we got like houses from 17th, 18th centuries, even older ones.
Yep.
So it's like the perfect scene to have some kind of backstories, to have, ghost
Yes,
stories.
it's lovely. It's a lovely country to do some paranormal investigations.
And when I was last time visiting Hadley Castle,
Yeah,
and this one is also put out on your webpage as one of those locations that might have some paranormal activity there.
we've had some really good activity at Hadley Castle, to the point one of the local folklores of the red-eyed dog that you can see at Hadley Castle, I've personally witnessed myself. We've had some really strange experiences there. We did during COVID times when we was allowed back out. We did a live ghost hunt from Hadley Castle, and out the back of Hadley Castle, we actually got pinned into an area there, and we didn't like to. We really didn't like to move out of it. We were so intimidated because it was banked up. We felt a lot of pressure coming from down from us. We've had loads of K2 hits. We've had some really good voice phenomena from Hadley Castle, and the Echo Vox works fantastically there, and we get a lot of communication come through there with light anomalies. Are very, as you know, especially in the turret down in the far bit.
Yes,
If you
yes.
stand in the turret and look up to sort of if you so your back is looking out, if you look up to your far left,
Mhm.
and ask for top of my head, I think it's either Richie Rich, and he starts to flash a few lights up the top for you.
Okay. I recall standing in there, but what I see is ancient graffiti when, like years ago, people have been climbing up and put
Yeah,
down their names. And as you know, my channel is mostly about the geocaching. Then some geocaching stories. I remember doing one of the church micros where you usually go to the graveyard, you do the hunt for the gravestones to get the names or dates or something. And then there was one very naughty thing in there thrown on the thing. You need to find some Jack fellow who had left this mark.
right.
And you need to find this mark, and it was left on top of the arch of the site or of the church. So it was very ancient graffiti, like over 100 years
Yes.
ago, and that's very fascinating in my
Yeah.
opinion. Okay, so last weekend I was going to the Canewdon, and I know my pronunciation is maybe not the best for it. And I've read some stories. There's like this web page where there's lots of um, old myths about the place. When you do 3 rounds or anti-clockwise on the Halloween night, you are actually gonna get devil to see or going back in time, which is very nice. And why I'm asking that is because I was hiding a special geocoin tag to be found and use that same story as the legend. And luckily it was found. I have it here. I can show this one. But it all started with this. So this is the geocoin, and um, how it works is there's a game where you hide this piece somewhere. And when you hide this piece and somebody who finds it, there's a go written on behind.
Right.
And when they mail this code to the so-called like reviewers,
Yeah.
then they send this part with the mail. You do need to pay a postage for this one. I think it's like £4 or £5,
Yeah.
but the coin itself is free, and then you can match them up. And I have, I think, over 12 different coins in my collection. This one is the latest, and this one is obviously dedicated to the Halloween, like the ghouls
Yeah.
and stuff. And this one is the cowboy hat. Another one is with the devil hat.
Right.
And I
Gotcha.
don't have that one yet.
Maybe soon.
Maybe soon.
There is a very haunted location in Bicknacre just around the corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show you on the map on the way out if you would like to pay a little visit to that. There's a very old spooky church just off the side of the road, which is a bit creepy to me.
Okay.
And obviously the Priory Fields, just literally, you probably may have come in through that way, the Priory Fields is just, you got Danbury Common is just around the corner, which is very, very haunted. So enough real some, especially within, well, half a mile radius, you're quite in a haunted location.
Going back to the Canewdon, there's not much to say that there's a village sign and it says it all. The village sign as Flying Witch on a Broom.
That's it.
And-
Canewdon, yeah.
Canewdon, sorry, Canewdon.
Canewdon.
And so what's the story with this witchcraft in Canewdon?
You know, there's so many mixed history regarding Canewdon. There is really so much history. You know, you've got the pub that's down the road to Canewdon, which was, I do believe, that potentially held the witch for a time period. Going back for, you know, we're only going back a short amount of years, but the police used to shut off Canewdon on Halloween.
Wow.
They would not let you up the road because it was become a bit of a fascination with, you know, the actual county and things like that, and the local area, the little village. But yeah, they used to, every Halloween, the police used to be at the crossroads, you know, where the sign is, and you can go up to the church or round to the village. Yeah, they used to, police presence, you would be met by a police presence there if you was going there on Halloween to ask why you'd be entering the village.
That's insane, but yeah, wow.
So it's got a very, very haunted feel to it, and we've investigated it a couple of times. As being Essex, and you know, Essex Ghost Hunter, we have to tick off the boxes of it, and it has got some very strange tales to it.
So there might be some real truth behind all this.
Would I say the real truth is a witch?
Okay.
I won't say that. But what I have seen there, to the point of, it wasn't a very nice visualization that I saw. Would I say it was a witch? No. But I did see what we call within the field an energy there that a medium or a psychic would see. Or anyone who's sensitive or clairvoyant would not have liked what I saw.
So it was hostile as an essence.
Yes, I would say very hostile, because I didn't want to. You've been to Canewdon, so
Yes.
where that crossroads is, you go up the long track and you can find the wooden gate where you can enter the church. Yeah?
Yes.
I got to the feeling that I wouldn't go in that gate. I felt I didn't want to go through that gate. It scared me to go through that gate. And I don't often get scared. I've been doing this for 26 years now, paranormal field for 26 years. And when something scares me, that means something that I don't like. And that I went through it. I'm a man. I have to beat my chest and I can't show face. But I didn't want to. All my spider senses went up and I feared.
There's like that greenery area opposite the church, but it's like behind the gate.
Yep.
And what was a little bit creepy to me, there was like disused bench in a really bad state.
Yeah.
And why it's standing there like in that condition?
Who knows? It has its own feel, Canewdon. It does have a strange feel to it. But then is it just over time the history is built and we can put that energy to that? Is energy being attracted by us to that area? Do you know what I mean? That's sometimes how we have to balance this thing. And I've been to Canewdon again and I found it quite nice. We spoke in spirit to a couple of energies that used to work in there. The one of the old vicars we spoke to in spirit there, and he communicated for some of our tools and our gadgets with us. So yeah, it's been a very unbalanced situation there.
How do you to say someone who's heretic, who is not believing ghosts, to say there's an essence of the ghost nearby? Is there like any physical manifestations or anything?
We as as working in the field, one of the telltale signs, an old adage within the UK, okay, is someone stepped on my grave, or a goose has stepped on my grave. Have you ever heard that saying?
Yes.
And you shudder, yeah, you shiver.
Yes, you get like goosebumps or
That's
something.
it.
Yeah.
That's a very good telltale sign that you have connected with spirit.
Um, Today, the 2nd of November, in Estonia, we put the lights on the graveyards, things like that. And even I've done this, even though I don't believe much. When my mother passed away 1 year later, I found something valuable. I
Yeah,
don't tell which it is, but I went there and I left it this as a totem to her.
that's it.
And some things that are left to the churchyard should never leave the churchyard, because this belongs now to those who have passed away. But what happens then when somebody steps that border and reclaims something from the...
Cool. That's a very good question, to be fair. I think it's different religions and I think different traits, but I would not to say I would wish anything bad on anybody, because I don't think I'm not that believer, but I do believe karma is in existence. So my belief is that if someone takes something that they shouldn't have, and it is especially someone that has passed, just like yourself, that has placed that bit of memorabilia that's close to you and placed it in remembrance of your mum,
Yeah.
and then that person takes that away, then as much as I wouldn't wish, and I don't wish anything bad to happen to that person, but I believe that karma will. I believe in the universe that will dish karma their what would you call it, punishment, so to speak.
Yes.
That's how I see things. I don't wish anything negative on bad people, because it may come and get me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, you know, maybe we have to take in. Oh, look, the door's opening. Look.
Should I close it?
Yeah. Well, that was shut. You saw me shut that door.
So somebody, probably not my mom, hopefully.
Is it not? How weird is that?
There's like nothing to hold it, actually. That's strange.
Well, someone's pushed that in.
How is it possible?
You're in spooky surroundings, guys.
So I was handing you a piece of paper with some locations I found from Essex Ghost Hunters webpage, and this is just my personal selection of those locations,
Yeah.
and I just narrow it down to the county of Essex. Obviously, there's many locations, and I found quite interesting is Barley Rectory. That was like the cream de la cream, or the top of the top.
That is my number one location that I have ever investigated. That's my spiritual home. That's where it all started for me. We've had some fantastic. We've had things thrown at us there. We've had stones thrown at us there. We've done filming there for people, and you go round the back of the church, and the camera doesn't want to film you. And we've filmed it all. Come back, went to do our editing like yourselves.
Yeah.
And there was nothing on that bit of footage from around the back. But as soon as you walked back around, the camera come back alive and filmed us all walking out of there.
So that is the place where you could go get those goosebumps, so called.
Whereabouts do you come from? Where you based? Sorry.
Southend. Where I've been living 14 last years in Southend.
Hockley Woods.
Yes, but I can't say much about that locations. Just the woods to me. I didn't see like any old establishments there. Like,
Don't need them. Don't need old establishments. You don't need any buildings. Just go. Be aware of different times of day. So walking through it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to walking through it at 1 o'clock in the evening is two different feelings.
So the Hadley Castle, we already spoke
Yeah.
about Hadley Castle. It's in my list number 2 because it's so close to where I am
Yeah.
from. So where would you put Hadley Castle?
In that list, I would probably put that where it is. The only ones I would probably swap around in your list is I'd bring 5 to 4 and 4 to 5. So I'd have it. Bawley is my number one favourite place. Hadley Castle is very, very good. Canewdon Bunker is a gift of all sort of things because you can't tell you what is going to go on in that location. East Tilbury Battery, as we have got a video, I believe, on our website. If you go to our YouTube channel, we've got East Battery on there, and the Cage as well. And the Cage is a location where I had a bit of an experience there with myself, where a spirit sort of, I don't like the word possession because it's a bit too strong, but we called it sort of channeled through me, and I become very aggressive there. And that's what happened in the Cage. Yeah. Wow. So I've had some really good experiences in there. Canewdon Bunker. The last time I was there, I threw my phone because my phone was on silent. I turned it off because we like all our equipment to be off, and we was all sitting in the circle, and my phone was still off, and it said to everybody in the group, "Could you sing a lullaby to me?"
Just out of thin air, basically. Wow.
It was Bixby or whatever it was, and it's not. It wasn't Siri. It was whatever the equivalent was for Samsung or Android phones, which I think was Bixby at the time. And it said, "Yeah, could you sing a lullaby?" And I took my phone out, and it wasn't on. And when we turned it back on, and it all powered up, we said, "Bixby, what was the last thing you asked?" And it said, "Play a lullaby for me."
You mentioned outside of the camera to me that you are returning to the Canewdon Hatch next weekend. So what's the occasion?
We run events. We run events as Essex Ghost Hunters. We sort of run one event every month where the people can come along and join us and do a bit of ghost hunting themselves. And we go all up and down the country. Last weekend we was up at Nottingham City of Caves in Nottingham, and we popped into Cannock as well. Cannock Forest. That's another place.
Wow. Okay.
If you're gonna go and have a look. And that does a bit of everything. You're not just talking about ghosts and Essex Ghost Hunters here. You are talking about bipedal figures, Bigfoot, ufology, you name it, it's in Cannock Chase.
And obviously, when you do those places, the history is very fascinating, not just for you, but also those who are looking for the coins, so-called treasure hunters with
exactly
metal detectors and so on. So.
Yeah, and the thing is with my side of it, I won't look at the history until after the event, because obviously being able to talk to, wanted to coin a phrase, talk to the dead, because that's one of my, that's what I do. I can communicate with spirit, and so to many of my team, we don't tend to look at the history too much until after the event, because what we get, we write it down, and then we can try and put what we got
and compare those two.
Exactly.
Wow. Actually, it's very clever in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then you have unbiased view of the things, and you get better sense what's going on.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. And next year for us, we've got so many new venues that we are visiting as a team, and it's very exciting because I've never been to some of these places. So,
but I have a question. How did you end up here in this location right now?
Once again, down to spirit. Once again, I put all the eggs in one basket. One day, you've been speaking to Simon,
yes,
which is my uncle, as well. The gentleman in there is my uncle, and just during COVID, he lost his job, and he was going to do a postman's job, but after about 4 to 5 failed attempts, and that isn't attempts of getting the job, he got the job, but it was the training. And they kept saying, "No, we can't do the training this week, not enough people, maybe next week." And I said, "Simon, this job isn't for you." And he said, "Well, what are we going to do?" He said, "I need a job." I said, "Well, let's do what you've always wanted to do. Let's do what Essex Ghost has wanted to do, open a little shop." And we looked online, this place come up. And for the last two and a bit years, it's been our home for Cyrus. As you can see, we've got a spiritual centre where you can come and get readings or have some healing done. And then you've got the shop that's just across the way there, Cyrus Spiritual Connections, where you can get all your oracle cards and runes and crystals and anything to do with a bit of holistic side of things.
Okay. So there is one question: is how do you become a ghost hunter?
How to become a ghost hunter?
Yes.
I don't think there is any sort of fixed way to become a ghost hunter. I think you have to have an interest in the paranormal. I've always had an interest in the paranormal. I've always, at a very young age, my uncle took me to Bawley Rectory for a night out, and that's when it all started, around about 20 odd years ago. Sorry, I've got such a bad back at the moment, it's pulling. And that's where it all started, at Bawley Rectory for myself. I saw a little boy there cowering behind a gravestone, and I didn't like it. I told my uncle to leave. And we went back to try and find the little boy. He wasn't there, but I could describe the boy quite clearly. He had the flat cap on, he had the tweed jacket and waistcoat on, green, with yellow stripes, very faint yellow stripes, and he stood about that high over the gravestone, and he waved at me. And that's how I've become very interested. And then, going on and on and on, I've taken it on to the next level, and I've been running me and my uncle have been running Essex Ghost Hunters for about 20, coming up to its 26th year this year.
Do you believe, or do you think it comes right from the family line?
No.
Like, is there anyone else in your family who has this kind of
No, I don't.
sights or?
I know I know people out there, watching your channel and other mediums that have their opinion, but no, I don't think it fits within your family lineage. I think everyone has the ability to become sensitive to spirit.
So it's
and
more
can-
like just to trust your inner self and be open, not be just short-minded, I guess.
I'd exactly say the same thing, but we also have to remember that the human brain, at 100% capacity, we use about 10 to 15% of that brain. What else is in that brain that we're not using? What is a part of that brain that we may be able to connect telepathically to an energy that has passed and talk to people? We don't know. I can't sit here and say there's any proof that I can give you that there is life after death. I can only give you my experience in what I experience. And that's as far as I don't argue with people about, if you don't believe, you don't believe. I'm not here to prove you wrong or right. I don't. It's a belief system, in my opinion. And yes, there is life after death. How I can prove that to people, I can't. I'm not here to prove it to people.
No, exactly.
It's my hobby, and people come along for my hobby, if that makes sense.
So, just to conclude this conversations, as we are right now here in the beginning of the November, Halloween is just over, and it's the darkest time of the year, and people are now, looking more forward to spiritual things and stuff and so on. What would be your suggestion, to just bear in mind if you deal anything related to the so-called underworld or those?
One of my biggest things is your intentions. Make sure your intentions are pure. People say to me, "Oh, I'm not touching a spirit board or a Ouija board because it's dangerous." It's only dangerous if you're intending to call the dark. So if your intentions are clear, if your intentions are positive, that you want to speak to the loved ones and the energies of the earth, then yes, that's the way to do it. But I always call upon my guardian angels, my guides, my loved ones to keep me protected when I'm doing my spiritual work. And I don't go out there looking for the dark side of things. I don't have no interest in the devil or, the fallen angel, so to speak, and the demonic side of things. I've witnessed it. I come across it, but do I go out there to call it? No. When I'm out in the field, you'll get your goosebumps like you was talking about, but you also get a feeling, you get a suppression, you get a darkness that comes over you. So for me, anyone that works within the realm of spirit and as a medium or a psychic or clairvoyant or anything like that, they will have a good knowledge of the difference. You get a different goosebumpy feel.
Mhm.
You will feel uncomfortable. You've all been in places like you said about,
Yes.
you know, Southend. You know there's something not right there. It feels different. That's how you have to portray it, if that makes sense. If you feel it's not good, then you have to question, why is it not good? But if you feel it's good, you know it's good within deep down. We all have an ability to, you know, we all go through life, don't we? You just don't like that person, or you get a bad vibe from that person. I think that happens within spirit as well. You can sort of tell if there's something that's not nice. For me, I do, you know, when we talk about witches and things like that, one of my telltale signs when a dark energy comes through is that energy spits at me. I can
Okay.
sense the spitting at me. And that's how I can tell if it's maybe a
So
dark
the
energy.
ghosts are despiteful.
Yeah, they can be. Can be.
Wow.
We've had evidence of energies and what you call ghosts and spirits actually cause physical harm.
So it's like a poltergeist activity, which is like the so-called left behind materialized.
Yes, but a spirit can also do the same.
Mhm.
We're not sort of just going down the one route of a poltergeist or anything like that. It is a energy of sorts.
But poltergeist is, as far as I know, connected to some living person, like somebody's sisters
There's
or.
so many different ways you could look at what a poltergeist is. To me, I only ever see a poltergeist as an energy that is stronger than anything.
Okay.
Do feel like it links to the demonic side of things? Yes, I do. I think the poltergeist sits within the demonic side of the realm. Do I think it links, my personal belief? Do I think it links to someone or some body that's living? No, I don't. But that's only my belief. Please don't take, you know,
Absolutely.
it's only my belief of that what a poltergeist is. I think we have our loved ones around us. I think we have our guardian angels around us. We've all seen that feather that's laid in front of you. Where's that feather come from? Ever found a feather in front of you?
Who knows? At the
You know?
moment, difficult to say.
Yeah. A white feather just left in front of you. A very good sign, your guardian angel that has visited you and looked after you.
Well, yes.
What if there's a black feather?
Or black cat rather going
But
crossing.
well, they do say black cat. I think it's, what is it? Someone will correct me if it's, there is a certain if a black cat crosses you from the left to the right, it's bad luck. But if it crosses from left to right, it's good luck.
Yeah.
Or saying whatever way it crosses your path, there's a meaning to it with a black cat.
Absolutely.
But I don't quite know what the analogy is, to be fair, on that one.
But you as a shop owner, obviously this is the time of the year when most of the people want to wait to your shop, approaching Halloween, for example.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because we're more holistic. We deal with spiritual healing. We deal with readings for people, contacting the dead. You know, potentially Halloween would be one of our most quietest times. In the, you know,
This is for me is very strange because I thought this vice versa.
no, not really. Yeah, because Halloween has become very commercial over the years. You know, let's be fair, Halloween is a Christian event. All Hallows Eve is a celebration of
It's
the
kind
dead.
of American, isn't it?
The new Halloween that we are
Yeah.
seeing, pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns and things, the parade, is very American. But the true belief of Halloween is a Christian belief.
But
it was celebrated by Christians.
And Christians started this from the old pagan things, so it's going down.
So, you know, this is a, you know, and I'm not here to, I don't, look, you're Christian, whatever religion that you are, I respect all nationalities and all religions. But we can have a difference somewhere along the line. If we're all the same, we live in one very boring world.
Nowadays, obviously, science is claiming some things that even me find hard to believe, that everything is just an illusion and we are living in a holographic world and we are just the mere holographs. I don't know. It sounds something would come from your.
We could be. How do we know? You know, we you know, we're going off tangent, but we, you know, how many people believe the moon landings are not real? and things like that. So what do we know is real and what do we know is not real? And we live in a very, very strange world, and the world is very bizarre.
Are the dreams you see at night, are the dreams real or manifestations of the dreams?
I'm a strong believer in dreams. What you see in your dreams, what you sense in your dreams, what you wake up in your dreams, I believe that is spirit that is telling us what we need to hear. And you'll more or less find, we talk about the witching hour. Everyone thinks it's 12 o'clock.
What is it now?
The witching hour is when our two realms collide. So we have human world and we have the spiritual world. And they always used to say 12 o'clock is the witching hour. Be careful of the witching hour. But it's not, it's 3 a.m. is your true witching hour. And if you could imagine our world turning,
Yes.
our realm turning, the spiritual world turning, at some point it overlinks. 3 o'clock in the UK time and all around the world at 3 o'clock a.m. in the morning, it's where the realms collect.
And obviously, again, maybe I have seen too much videos or something, but is the mirrors, regular mirrors, the gate to the other side of the underworld?
Once again, they can be because they're infinite, but you have to back a mirror to a mirror. It's just a plain mirror. You can only see one way, yeah?
Yes.
If you put a mirror in a mirror,
then you are between them and it goes eternity.
Exactly that. So what that, do I believe in mirrors can be portals? Loosely. I'm not sold on it just yet, but I believe that you can use mirrors to connect to spirit very well. Okay. We do transfiguration when you sit in front of a mirror with a red light and you all see spirit overtaking your face and manipulating your face to change.
Well, I'm a strong believer in numerology. I don't believe that much in astrology, but I believe in numerology.
Yeah, numerology.
And I happen to know that my life path number is 1, which is not the best number, but it's not too bad as well. This makes me who I am, and I kind of got many answers to my questions. What's your take on numerology? Does this give some answers?
I can't sit here and answer someone who can read numerology, but I believe very much in numbers. It's very synchronicity numbers. Over the last couple of weeks, I've seen a lot of synchronicity numbers, like
is it like prime
333.
numbers? Oh, okay.
Synchronicity, and like, you know, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you look at the clock and it's 222, or you look at your watch because it's time to go home and it's 444. I believe in numbers. I do believe in numbers, but could I sit here and talk to you about numerology? Couldn't, because it'd be unfair on the people who do that. I do believe I was told many years ago that my life number was 3, but I couldn't be 100% sure on that. And I do know a numerology lady many years ago, and she did a numerology reading for me, but could I remember it now? I wish I recorded it, but that's why I think that number stuck in my head, because I did think she said it was number 3.
It has been pleasure to talking with you, and
Thank you for having me.
And I feel very enlightened, especially now when we have these candles. So, may I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
And if you like this content, please come and check out. Who knows? Maybe we'll meet again. You never know.